What's up guys, this is Fells. I'm here to give a quick production breakdown video of my song Designer Jeans with RYYZN. First elements you hear in the song are the atmospheres and a basic synth loop. So those atmospheres sound like this. And those just give a good bed for the rest of the song to sit on. And then there's also a basic guitar and synth loop that plays throughout most of the song that gives a nice rhythm. And when the verse hits and the vocals come in, there's these pads that are comprised of a few different layers. The first layer being a saw pad. And there's a guitar pad, which are just power chords run through an amp and then filtered pretty heavily. And then a noise layer to add like a nice high-end crunch. And then a respace. So all of those pads together sound like this. For the drums in the verse, they're pretty basic. Throughout the entire song, they're kind of basic, but I've been going for more of like a dance pop mix again with tighter drums, but still wanting to use some acoustic samples to get that rock organic feel. And so in the verse, the drums sound like this. And there's some acoustic hats that come through in the pre. So the chorus is when it gets really catchy and fun. And so for this song, there's like kind of two halves to the chorus. The first part being more stripped down with just guitars, the vocal, and some claps. The second half is when it really opens up and there's more guitars, the bass, and the drums come in. That section sounds like this. And it leads into the second section of the chorus that sounds like this. To break it down, in the first half of the chorus, there's these what I call scratchy guitars. And those are made up of two separately recorded layers, both panned hard left and hard right. The high ones, which are just playing the root note and the seventh in a higher octave. And then low scratch guitars, which are playing power chords. And they're all being run into the same amp and guitar rig. Looks like the preset is called Scratchy Distort. And then there's also these fun little claps that add some fun energy and build up to the second half of the chorus. So the second half of the chorus is when it really opens up and a lot more elements are added and the full stereo spectrum is kind of covered. First thing you hear is these wide acoustic guitars. They add a really nice like high-end sparkle, as well as these guitar drones, which are playing kind of a counter melody, you would say. So the rhythm of the scratchy guitars are also being played again, just with different elements. The first being what I call this bouncy guitar. And then there's this saw. And down here, there's also these filtered saws that are run through a guitar amp. And then sitting in the back are these strings and synth drones. And then a basic sine wave sub. To finish off the chorus, the drums again are pretty basic, playing the same rhythm as the verse, but with slightly more punchy and lively samples. And then a lot of cymbals and hats. So all of those together sound like this. So there's also this lead guitar layer that comes in the second chorus and third chorus, calling it like the post chorus. It's a guitar, but is processed in a way that makes it sound like a synth. So there's a lot of high-end buzz and distortion, and that sounds like this. The bass tone comes from Archetype Nolly, preset called Ambient Breakup, and I'm running it through a vocoder that gives it that kind of like electronic feel. And then I bounced it out and ran it through a lot more processing, basically to add the high end without making it sound too abrasive. All together sounds like this. So yeah, that's my song Designer Jeans with RYYZN.